And that has been one of the most, oh my gosh, that has been one of the most annoying symptoms with this pregnancy. Hey everybody, happy hump day. Today is Wednesday, January 29th. I am 22 weeks and 4 days today. Today I will be doing my 21-week update along with my 20-week update because I did not record my 20-week update when I was 21 weeks. So today I will be combining the two like I did in my previous video. Before we get started, I forgot, let me go ahead and give y'all a belly update on baby. Here from the front. From the side. As you can see, I have grown. At 21 weeks, that weekend, I woke up with a bigger belly, like overnight. There we go from the front without my shirt. And from the side. And as y'all can see, I am carrying very low. When I was pregnant with Zion, I carried higher. With this baby, I'm carrying very low. Alright, so here we go. Starting with 20 weeks. At 20 weeks, my discharge increased. And that has been one of the most, oh my gosh, that has been one of the most annoying symptoms with this pregnancy. I didn't even know that was a symptom. I didn't have that issue when I was pregnant with Zion. As women, we normally, have a monthly, little bit of discharge, especially, around the time of ovulation. That's the only time I've ever had, issues with that. Not even an issue, because it's never a lot. So this has been very annoying because I have to constantly wear a panty liner every single day since the beginning. Before I started having the bleeding and the concerns with ectopic. Once I started wearing panty liners, then from the bleeding, it was like once the bleeding started, then the discharge started. And I have literally been wearing a panty liner every single day. And that is so annoying. But that has increased a little bit. Going backwards, it's just crazy to think about pregnancy symptoms and stuff you go through that you never hear about. Because I have friends with kids, and I've watched some pregnancy videos before, people vlogging about it, but that's a symptom I never heard of until I got pregnant, and it has been so annoying. But anyways, I also started getting a Charlie horse in my left leg a lot when I was 20 weeks. I would be laying in the bed or just randomly walking or sitting or driving, and I would get a Charlie horse in my left calf. I started craving steak at 20 weeks. I just really, really, really wanted steak. I could taste it. So I started buying a lot of steak and cooking steak at least twice a week. I know I've heard before, I don't know so much with pregnancy, I didn't really research it. I know a lot of people say when you crave steak, your iron levels are probably low. So that could have been it. And my iron levels was probably low, or I just was really craving it. The baby wanted it. Cramping started around 20 weeks. So I was starting to feel a lot more cramping in my pelvis area. And I know it's not Braxton Hicks. I know what Braxton Hicks feel like. It's literally period cramps. And one day it was starting to get so bad to the point where I actually considered going to the doctor. But I know that I had been lifting some stuff that was too heavy for me to lift the day before. So I figured that it was from that. and the cramping subsided, so it wasn't an issue to the point where I ended up going to the doctor because it didn't continue. I started getting real tense back, so that was all in combination, I believe, with me lifting items that were too heavy for me to lift, that I shouldn't be lifting being pregnant. Like I was standing in the kitchen and I was on the phone, I started getting real intense, like cramps, and it like kind of caused my back to tense up too. So like this whole lower midsection was just kind of tense, and I was just like kind of stuck. But it subsided. It did not last, so everything was okay. I wrote that I had slower movement. So slower movement with me, like getting around, walking. I just was kind of starting to feel myself like slow down, or like taking Zion to the park, like outside walking behind him, or like trying to run behind him. I could tell I was getting a lot slower. Or just in my day-to-day, waking up in the morning, getting ready, like walking, I felt a lot slower in my movement. And I know that's because of the increase in my weight and like the center of my gravity from my stomach growing. All of that is causing me to kind of slow down some. I started feeling the baby more, and more so in my lower pelvis area, which is, I know, probably kind of weird, but I have learned since because with Zion, like I know as I got further along, probably like 6-7 months, it would feel like his leg was like kicking me in my lower pelvis area. And I figured then like, hey, he's bigger now, so that's why I'm starting to feel him move more down there. Other than that, I always felt him up higher, and I carried him higher. And so I actually, like, to the point where my stomach was round as a basketball and like kind of grew up into my boobs. With this baby, I carry very low, and my the placenta is also implanted posterior. So with that, it causes like the movement to be felt more in the mom's cervix or lower pelvis area, and surprisingly also in your anus area. So as weirdly as that sounds, and as even more weirdly as it feels, I feel my baby a lot in my pelvis area and like on my lower sides and in my hip area. So it's not very often that I couldn't see the baby or feel the baby up top. And that's also caused some cushioning that has caused me not to be able to feel the baby as much. I've mentioned in my previous videos how I would feel the baby, but not as much. Like with Zion, I think at like 13 weeks, 14 weeks, I was feeling him intensely, like all the time. And I remember at 5 months when I got sick, that's why I was so concerned. I had food poisoning, and with the throwing up, I had stopped feeling him move, and I was so concerned because he was so active around that time. And I was wondering, like, why don't I feel my baby as much? And that's why, because of the placement of my placenta being posterior instead of anterior. Moving on, at 21 weeks, I started feeling pain in my foot. It was kind of like a sprain, but I hadn't tripped. I hadn't done anything to sprain my foot, and it started like leading up into my left calf. And before I made my video, I actually just looked it up, and I found out that it's called overpronation. So overpronation is from the weight of that you're gaining, and like the weight of the increase in your stomach area, and that causing your foot to be flat. And it can also, you don't have to have an arch for it to happen. You can also be flat-footed and it still happen. But it's just that stress that's being caused from all that pressure that's being put down on your foot. And so for me, like in the arch on the outer left side of my foot, it's been like real intense pain to the point where it hurt to walk. And so looking it up, it was saying like in pregnancy, overpronation and edema, which is swelling. With Zion, I had a lot of foot swelling towards the end. But that those are two of the main issues with your feet that women have when they're pregnant. So the treatment for that, it basically says like to get shoe inserts for the arches of your foot to have more support. And so like I know like my shoes that I wear like on a day-to-day might not have enough support for me, so I might have to look into getting some shoe inserts and like discontinuing my slides. in order to help relieve that pain that I've been having. I'm starting to notice a slight routine with the baby as far as like sleeping patterns when they're up and awake. When they're awake and when they're sleeping. So in the mornings, I've started, at the beginning of the year, I started waking up around 5 o'clock to do my Bible readings or like a devotional or something like that. And so around 5:30 consistently now, I'm noticing that the baby is up, kicking around, moving. So between 5:30 and 5:45, the baby is up moving. And I don't know that's because of like my new routine that I've started for myself, or if that's something that the baby had already been doing and I just really couldn't feel it like that before now with the baby growing and me being able to feel it a little bit more. At 21 weeks, I started to eat slightly weird stuff. So with Zion, I didn't really have cravings like that outside of just wanting sushi because I became a lover of sushi right before I got pregnant with him. And so I was literally eating sushi like 2 or 3 times a week. And so I wouldn't say that I was craving sushi, but that I wanted it. I didn't really crave salads, but I always wanted an antipasto salad for Hungry Howie's, and I didn't really crave, I probably had a craving for Publix subs. So like I have now, because I would want one and like but I never had like that taste in my mouth for that crave. With this pregnancy, I crave stuff. Like, I'm like, no, I want that. I could taste it. I could smell it. So, that I've eaten so far with this pregnancy, was a brand pizza called Tombstone Pizza. It was the cheese pizza, and I ate it dipping it in sour cream. It was so bomb. Like, the best tasting thing outside of the Publix sub that I had at the beginning of my pregnancy. Like, I'll eat stuff that'll be good, but it won't be satisfying enough. But just be like, whatever. But that sour cream with that cheese pizza, okay. And like with this baby, I have constant cravings. With Zion, I didn't have cravings like that. Like, I just wanted to eat something more than I wanted to eat anything else. But it wasn't to the point where I tasted it, I wanted it, and I was like, I gotta have it. If I don't have it, it's like I'm kind of like hangry. But with this baby, cravings are real. The cravings are really real. And I guess that's the start of my weird food combinations. Something else that I ate that was kind of a weird combo was clam chowder and crinkle fries. I got our local stores clam chowder because I can't buy the soup in the can on the shelf like the Campbell's Progressive because the sodium content is too high. And since I've been pregnant with this baby, anything that's high in sodium like causes me to have an extreme headache like for at least a good 2-3 days. So I finally found a soup that I could get because I had been wanting clam chowder. Had some crinkle fries that I cooked at home, baked them in the oven, and I dipped them in the soup. It was so good. So those are the 2 weirdest food combinations that I've had so far with this pregnancy. And with Zion, like, I didn't have cravings, like I said. I just wanted certain things, but I wanted sushi but of course I couldn't eat it because you can't eat sushi when you're pregnant. Well, you could eat like the stuff that doesn't have raw fish in it, like a California roll. But my thing is, all the sushi is prepared in the same area, so I don't want to take the chance of cross-contamination, so I just don't eat it, period. And so with Zion, right before I found out I was pregnant, I just started eating sushi. One of my friends introduced me to it, and I was literally eating it 2 or 3 times a week. And so I just wanted it because I was eating it all the time. But outside of that, the only thing that might have been considered a craving, but it wasn't like I tasted it in my mouth and wanted it all the time. I used to eat antipasto salads from Hungry Howie's. And, of course, Publix subs, because I love Publix subs. But with this pregnancy, I crave Publix subs, and I can't have them because I'm not in Florida. But, yeah, the cravings are real. I started sleeping with the heating pad at 21 weeks. I'm not having intense lower back pain like I used to, but it is like painful, like an annoying, just kind of there type thing. And so I started sleeping with the heating pad to kind of ease that pain while I sleep through the night, because sleeping is usually when I feel it the most now. And so along with that, I've started sleeping sitting up consistently now, or like at an angle. And so I usually have 2 pillows behind my back. My body pillow is usually wrapped around like at an angle. So I have the top part like over the top of the pillow, so it kind of curves around my neck and my shoulders. And then the bottom of the body pillow kind of wraps around my lower buttocks and like my upper hip area. So there's kind of like a donut in a sense to kind of support me when I sleep. And then I have 1 pillow under my knees so that like under my ankles so that my legs can dangle over and resting, and then pillows under my sides. And so that has really helped me to sleep a whole lot better. And I constantly like switch positions throughout the night from left to right, middle, and back and forth to kind of help me. Urination has picked up. I go to the bathroom multiple times throughout the night. I wake up and go, and I'm so mad when I go and it's only like a little tiny bit, but how it feels is like you got a full bladder, but it's just the fact that the baby is pushing down on my bladder. And so I use the bathroom. I go to be quite frequently more now, especially waking up in the middle of the night. And that is just about it, guys, for my 21-week update. I say for those moms that are having a rough time sleeping at night, definitely up your pillow game. That has helped. So maybe consider like different positionings with the pillows so that you're kind of like in a sea of pillows, like wrapped under your body. If you're laying on your side, making sure you have a pillow like under your stomach so that you have that support from that weight and it's not an uncomfortable feeling. And any other tips that I have? That's about it, I think. But if you all have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you love the information that I gave or you just like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to continue this journey with me, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And if you really love me, go ahead and hit that bell button so that you can get notifications of my videos when they post. And that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great rest of the week, and I will see y'all in a few days at 23 weeks. Goodbye.